Hello, everyone. Welcome to 7Peaks webinar. Yeah, we're back now. And then, yeah, we just a little bit, like trying to take time to prepare the webinar and also the meetup. So this month, like July, we're back with the backend webinar again. So everything is back to normal in Thailand. It's a very good news for us. And we are now hiring more people for the talented developers and also designer. Currently, we're looking for more cloud software architect, someone who is strong with the Azure or AWS. And also we're looking for more senior front-end developer who is strong in the React. And we are looking for project manager, Android developer, Node.js, and also full stack QA and Flutter developers. If you're interested to join 7P Software, you can send your profile to jobs@7psoftware.com. And also you can also check the career page like www.7psoftware.com/career. So we open all the opening position there. If you're interested, send your profile and also your portfolio. And again, you can also follow our social media channel on the Facebook, 7Peaks. You can also like and also follow on the LinkedIn because we always share the news, everyday news, like such as like what's going on with the 7Peaks. And also we also share a lot of articles and case studies, and also we also share the webinar on meetups, and we also share some other like interesting posts and also activities inside the 7Peaks, and also hiring posts. Like once we have like an urgency of the position, we always share on the social medias, so you can always catch up as latest news on our social media. And you can also check out our career page and also like event page. This one is like 7psoftware.com/events. So you will see all the upcoming events at the 7P Software. In August, we have two meetups. So this time it will be back to our new office, and then we'll host and we organize the two meetups. One is a QA and one is a design related meetup. So you can check on this website. You can scan the QR here, or you can also visit 7psoftware.com/events. Oh yeah, as we already announced in last webinar, we are here at the new office at the park, Ramapho, and on the 7th floor, the West Wing. So next month we will see you all in our new office, brand new office. So we hope you see you there. More people who are interested to learn about like QA and also design and also other meetup with announcement. So today, C# backend webinar, we will have two sessions. We have two speakers. So the first sessions will be presented by Pex, and the second sessions will be presented by Tong. So the meetup will take around 30 minutes to 40 minutes per sessions. And at the end, we have a live Q&A, or along the way, you can also send the questions if you would like to ask. If you're not clear, you can let our speaker know. So we will try to get back to you and answer all of the questions in the Q&A session. So this is a live Q&A session. So whatever you would like to ask, so just try to let our speaker know. We'll try to get back to you. Or if you would like to ask, the questions later, feel free to drop via the messenger or send the email. We'll try to get back to you. Right, so I just would like to invite our first speaker, Pex. He will present the first session.
Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so we are going to talk about C# new features. The latest version of C# is version 9, and it's currently in the preview version. So we're gonna see some new feature that add to the C#. Okay, let's see. We have okay, a little bit about me. I'm Supakit. Just call me Pex, it's easier. So I'm working at 7Peaks as a software developer, and I have been working for C# since version 1 is probably more than 12 years. Okay, let's see what I've got today. Okay, first of all, I want to recap a little bit about the C# history version. So I believe you guys here should have like experience on C#, probably since the version 1 and up to now. Just want to recap the version of the C# that released the first version on January 2002. This just basic feature and so on, and continue in the version 2 and 3 years later, November 2005. This is like a huge update. I think it's like a generic and knowledgeable Thai and other useful features that we have now, and we're still using that. C#3 in the 2 years later, we like okay, and the link is also a big feature that's still using from in the current version. And then 3 years later, in 2010, we have C#4. This is the the generic and covariant. This is another useful feature. Yeah, and C#5. This is the very highlight feature. Is a sync and await that we are using in the .NET Framework 4.5. And then continue on the July 2015, we have version 6 released with the first version of .NET Core. So it's released with a bunch of useful features, like the string interpretation is easy, simple, but it's very useful feature. And version 7, we have two minor versions of the C#7. And the latest one, the general availability, the C# version 8, which is come with a .NET Core 3 and current Visual Studio 2019. That's we are mostly using this version on our development. And let's see the new feature of the C#9 version. Today I just talking about only some features. Means maybe not even half of the new features that announced in the C#9, but this should be enough to get to know what news that we can do with the C#. First one is the top level statement. It's a kind of reduce the code. You can just start learning the C# with the less boilerplate code. It's easier to understand what's going on and easy to start. And the next one is target typing, which is also the shorten the code when you create a new instance of your object. You just can do it shortly. And the next one in Italy feature, this one like this version of C# they try to be like more immutable data, so it can represent the data without modifying anything. This might be useful because every time when you create a new object, you don't really need to if you want to keep the history and record, the immutable is the answer for you. And the last one is the records, which is another immutable, which is immute your whole object, not just a little feature, not just a little property. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go through the first one. This is you guys know when you start learning C#, this is the boilerplate of code that you have to see when you start a new project. You will see like class program, static void main, string arguments, and of course hello world. But what you think you need to understand in this boilerplate of code? Only the hello world you will see on your screen when you run the application. So that means the arguments main, you need to understand how does this work, which is not really meaningful anything. And new version, they just reduce the code, only this line of code, and it's work the same. So when you start like a beginner to start learning C#, you don't have to guess what's main function for, what is string arguments it's used for. Just a simple and one line of code. Okay, that's a very simple one, the simplest one of the new function. new feature add. And the next one, is a target type new expression. So this means this is on this slide you will see the when you want to define a class, you have a class, properties, constructor, and a constructor with parameters. It's normal, right? But the new version, when you want to create a new class, a new object, you just do this thing. No, I'm sorry, this is still on the current version, not the new version. You just declare your class and the name of your class and instantiate with the parameter inside. But when you do the new version, you don't really need to specify the type after the new keyword. It's implicitly know what type you want to instantiate. So basically, it's just like you just omit the type that when you want to create. Previously, you just use var and you specify the type, right? But this version is switching. You just define the type here and give the name and then new and then nothing. And then you just pass parameter in. Then you know what type you need to instantiate. So I have another example here. It's like when you want to create a new object with an array of objects. So inside, previously you have to specify in every line of code that you want to instantiate this type, but this one can be reduced a lot of code. For me, this is pretty useful when you do the mocking data in unit testing. So usually I create a new object for testing and give a list of objects. I have to have every line of code and specify the type what I need. But this one is just a little shorter, but I think shorter is better. This is okay. The next one, still on the target type. Here in the example, I have the class person as a base class, and I have the live class, which is I call it prime minister and president, and which is inherit from the person. So this operator, the now collecting operator, which is checking the now if this variable is now, we will return the next variable. So previously this line of code won't be compiled because you have to return the same base type. You have to return exactly the same type, but with this new version, this is just work because this president and prime minister inherit from the person, right? You just, if the president is now, then you can just simply return the prime minister and this will be compiled. And another one, the ternary operators is now working with nullable. Previously, if you want to check is it not now, you can just use get value or default if you want to get the default value of the nullable. And with this one, you can just, it's not very more useful, but it can just work with this line. When you want to check this now, it's just, you can return either the integer value or just null value to that variable. These two operators now working with a new version of C#. And okay, still on the target type. I think this is pretty useful. So for the class that you are declaring the version, which means you can override in the char class. And previously, the signature of the method that you want to return, it has to be the same type as the base class. No matter what the live class return, it will be treated as a base class. The type, you have to do the casting, but the new version, you don't really need to do the casting. You just return the child type, and you don't need to casting at all. just work. So it's like when you do the generic and yeah, generic and collection and the class inside the collection, you can be the live class. Okay. And the next one, and in Italy property. This is the new one. Okay, this is the first. Previously, we have to do this one. We have to, if we want the property to be read array, you have to give the private statement here, and you can just assign the value in the constructor. But again, this is not mutable. This is mutable because after you assign the value in the constructor, that properties will be modifiable. But the new version, the init, you see, no set, it's just init, which means you can do it. Set the value only once when it's constructing, when it's initializing in the constructor, and after that, you have no permission to change anything. You can just read it. And here in the constructor, I put the deconstruction way, which is introduced in C#8, I think. So this means these two properties, the first name and last name, you can just give it once when you pass to the constructor, and that value will be set to those properties, and after that, this will be locked. You can't change it anymore. Okay, and records. Here, the records. Previously, when they announced to release this feature, they called this data class, and now they just changed to the record. I think it's more meaningful in the word itself. The records mean we are working with this record, right? We just want data of this record, and it's not modified to not modifiable. It will be stay like that. For this one and this line of code, the record person. So this is a constructor. It's a short form of the constructor. You just can call it instantiate this person. You don't need a body of this constructor method. I think for the records can be useful when you do the data that you want to keep the history, like event sourcings and the object value. When I'm working with the object, there are two types of object right now. The one is the entity, which is need an ID to identify, and the other one is the value object, which is no ID, but you need to identify all the properties inside. And I think with the C#9 version, I don't need to like create a custom class to make it value object. I just use the record. This is a lot easier for me. And also, this record can work with expression. So this means when you want to copy the object, you just use the with expression, and you can give the new value. So the new object will get all the data from the old object with plus the new value that you just assign inside the object initializer here. So it will be two different instances, two different objects. And here, how does it work behind the scene of the record? So basically, if you want to clone the object and you use the with expression, it's just working behind the scene by creating the protected constructor for you, and you just copy field by field. And if you specify you want something different, you specify an object initializer here, that value will be replaced. And because the property is in its, so that means it can be set the value at the constructor. And this will be, you get the two objects with the different property that you want. And how we check the same object or not. This is how the equality works. So previously we can use object.equal and we specify two objects inside. And for the reference type, this will be, yeah, it should be work with a reference equal if you specify two object parameter. But for the records, you can use the reference because it will be different, it's completely different. But it's actually it's overline the equal. We can use just the equal, without the reference. This will be give you the true value. And what else do we have here? Okay, so if you are keen to see how the new feature works, there's an option that you can try. So the first one, the link pad. I think this is good because you don't need to install the preview version of Visual Studio, which take a lot of your memory and your storage. It's kind of lightweight here. And also, if you are familiar with Visual Studio, you can choose the option to download the preview version. And anyway, you have to check the language status in the GitHub page. Let's see. This is showing. Yeah, it's coming here. Oh, I can't scroll. Here, this is the list of the new features that add in a C#. What? Sorry. Okay, let's go back to version 9. There's a bunch of new features that add to the new version, but what I speak is just list some feature that I think is significant for this version. And you can see the status here. The feature and the branch mean yeah, they are working on the Git branch, and this is a state. If you want to try the new feature, the state that in progress, you cannot do it now. You have to. What you can do is the merge. You can actually do on the normal version, the one that's not preview. You can just like enable the preview option in the option of the Visual Studio, and the merge into 16.7 P1, which means you need to install the preview version of the Visual Studio to try the features. And yeah, that's it. You can keep checking the state of the version of the feature that add to the current version, the new version of the C#. But if you want to try the link pad here, let's go back to the slide. Yeah, I also have the option for the link pad here. You can just go to the link pad. Just Google it and download it. You get this one. What's wrong? Link pad here. Okay. When you install the link pad, you just enable the option to see the preview here. Just go to Edit Preference and then Query tab, and then just latest C# features, and then yes, that's it. And then click OK. You will get a bunch of lists here, the new features of the version C#. So just go to see it very quick here. Init property here, like I said, just change the setter to be init, and now it's like it's just initialize property will be read only. Do I do? No, I shouldn't highlight it. Okay. And here you can see the new version, new feature of C#. Now you can compile a line here in the link pad. Just give the one class and the two init properties and the constructor. Then we create a new object of that class, and we specify the property in the initial object initializer. Let's compile and run here, working. And this one is in accessor. So it's like when you want to set the value of the properties, you can do some kind of validation. It shouldn't be now. Yeah, that's what it says. Yes, nothing fancy here. Let's skip to the record. The record. Yeah, here we have a record person defined here, and in the main class we just do the same. The record and specify the first name and the last name here. This will give you the record, person record. And in this line, they just like copy the new person record with and then change the first name. So we can see the result here. Yep, the first one is like we specify a constructor. It's named Joe Brooks. And the other person object here, we change the first name and should become just fine. And yeah, we can, if you want, you just go to see round here, record, and target type here. Yeah, we just don't need to specify the type after the new keyword here. It will give you the object that you want to see. Yeah, this is pretty much that we can explore the new feature. I hope this will be useful for you guys when you want to try something new. For me, the record, yeah, I definitely will use that instead of the custom value object that I'm currently have one. And yeah, there's something else about I'm not going to talk about this here, so you can check it out by yourself. Hope this will be a little useful. Another one I want to mention here. Previously, when we do something about a not operator, this is it's a little difficult to read, and it's now C# team makes it more a little easier. We can just use a not keyword. It's really the wording, not just an like exclamation here. Okay, this is a little feature that add in the C#9. And that's all I have. If you have any question, you can just ask in the chat and try to cover them all. Okay, and next one is we have another useful library. It's RabbitMQ. How we work with the messaging framework C# in the RabbitMQ. I'm going to hand this to Tong.
All right. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm Tong. I am Jirayu Medhatip, or you can call me Tong. So I want to introduce myself a little bit. Sorry. To introduce myself a little bit. I'm a senior .NET developer. I've been working as actually, I'm comfortable to work on the front end and back end, and partially for infrastructure as well. But C# is always be the first choice for me as backend. So I would say backend for backend C#, and C# is my mother language. So first of all, before talk about the RabbitMQ, I would like to speak about the messaging queue platform first, because RabbitMQ is actually one of the messaging queue platform providers. So yeah, I want to introduce what is the benefit of using messaging queue platform. Basically, you have to face some issue. You may face some issue like you have been developing the monolith application for many years, and you may face issue like there are a lot of technical debt, or the maintenance costs are too high because we have developer comes and go, and it just takes time to maintain such huge the code base. So we have few options to do, maybe like we rewrite it from scratch. It's maybe a good idea if you have enough time to rewrite from the scratch. But another option that may be better for business is we separate the monolith application into smaller services. And after we split it into smaller services, then there's a question, how can they connect to each other and communicate each other efficiently? Maybe use HTTP client to use the REST API to call each other, but it works. But if we have like 20 services, it's gonna be another tedious for developer anyway. So in order to glue services together in the decoupled fashion is the reason why messaging queue platform comes. So here's the benefit: we can decouple application into smaller service based on the business boundary, and we gain scalability. Like if we have multiple services, only some services are very busy with processing, so we can scale up or scale out for that service, for that particular service. And also we will gain the better UX because many of tasks can be processed asynchronously. So on the client side, we don't have customer don't have to wait until it's done. And right now there are many of major messaging platforms like Apache Kafka or Azure Service Bus, Google Cloud pops up, and RabbitMQ. So yeah, in this presentation, I will talk about mostly RabbitMQ. The reason why I want to talk about RabbitMQ is RabbitMQ is platform independent. Like for Azure Service Bus or Google pops up, you have to host it. You have to host it in Azure or in Google Cloud. So it's going to be a bit difficult to migrate from one cloud provider to another. But for RabbitMQ, you have a lot of options to do, like you can install on your on-premise host, and it also offers you the Docker image. So yeah, if it offers you the Docker image, you are free to do anything you want. And it's an open source. And another benefit, another reason why I chose RabbitMQ is RabbitMQ has been developing for a long time. The platform is very mature, and there are a lot of client libraries in multiple languages. So it's not just few languages. Even if you are C#, Java, Python, or in any languages, most of the languages are supported. So let's before doing anything, I want to talk about the fundamental first. Let's go for AMQP. the reason why I want to talk about AMQP first, because if you already understand the AMQP, you are free to adopt most of the messaging queue provider, because all of them implemented this protocol. And yeah, AMQP stands for Advanced Messaging Queuing Protocol. It's a protocol that originally developed tools for financial industry. So it was like bank, they split their monolith service into the smaller application and connected to each other. So they developed this protocol, but at that time it's a bit difficult to implement in the simple application, let's say. So that's why RabbitMQ came and wrap it together and make it easier to adopt by developer. According to anatomy of AMQP, there are three major parts: the publisher and broker and the consumer. So start from publisher. Publisher will publish the message into the broker. Then there's a consumer sitting on another side of the publisher and receive the message. This is a big picture. So in next slide, I will talk a little bit more about detail in the message broker. So start from queue. Yeah, queue is pretty obvious. Queue is queue. Yeah, this is where messages are stored, and this is the first in and first out. So for queue, it has publisher on one side and consumer sitting on another side, waiting for the message and process it. That's it. In this picture, publisher will send the message directly to the queue, which is not recommended. So, but it works as well. But yeah, we better do in another way. Then exchange and binding. Basically, exchange is the middleman stand between the publisher and the queue. So publisher will send the message to exchange, and then exchange will decide which queues should be delivered by our configuration, which call binding. And the parameter is the routing key. So inside the message, there will be message body and the routing key that publisher need to specify. For exchange, there are many types of exchange. Yeah. For first type is fan out. For this one is pretty obvious. When the publisher send the message to exchange, then exchange just equally distribute the message to any queue that bound to it. No matter what message is. Another type is direct. For direct, publisher need to specify routing key in the message, and we have to configure the routing key beforehand. For example, in this example, the Q1 will be listening for any message that is about the orange thing, and the Q2 will listening any messages which are about black and green, and we have the consumer waiting on another side. So for direct type, the routing key must be matched 100%. And for the topic type, this one is, I think, is the most popular exchange type. And we are still utilizing routing key as before, but there are more features in topic type. As you see, we can use the star and hash symbol as a wildcard. For star, it can substitute exactly one word, and hash can substitute for 0 or more words. Let's see the example. If the routing key is quick.orange.rabbit, the Q1 will be the only one who received it, because the Q1 will wait for message that contains orange in the middle. And another example is if routing key is lazy.red.mail.rabbit, lazy.red.mail.rabbit, the Q2 will receive this message because it is waiting for message that start with lazy word, and hash can substitute more than one words. So let's do the demo. Yeah, let's talk about the installation first. For installation, we have many ways to do it. Either use the cloud provider, which you can find easily in Azure or AWS or AMQP Cloud. And another way is you can just download the installer and install it into the host machine directly. But I will do the more simpler way is using Docker, which is the best way to try out new thing. Actually, it's going to be the better way to host as well. Yeah, and there are two images of RabbitMQ. One is the only RabbitMQ itself, and another one that I'm going to use is the RabbitMQ management, which is bundled with the management API. The management API is the UI that allows us to maintain and visual the what's going on inside the RabbitMQ broker. And yeah, right now I have the RabbitMQ management running. Yeah, I am using this tool. Is a side note. I'm using the Portainer. It is a like a container management UI that you can do a lot of containerized thing with by clicking, not by the CMD. It's just easier when you want to develop something.
We can see the message in here, right?
No, for the message, for this Docker image, basically you have to expose to port. First one is 5672. This one is the port of RabbitMQ itself, which gonna be connected with our application. And another one is port 15672, which is the management UI, which you can see here. You can see a lot of information like what's going on in your RabbitMQ cluster. You can see exchange, the queue, and yeah, there are so many things you can do with it. I didn't use it for all, but I'm sure that if you are interested, you can learn a lot from this management plugin. And I want to stimulate one simple scenario in order to give you a better visual. Basically, basically the scenario is like we are building the restaurant platform, which has the web UI and the web API. And behind the scene, we have the RabbitMQ in order to distribute the messages into our multiple services. Because at the beginning, we have only one monolithic application, and we found that our business run too well. We have to gain the scalability, especially for maybe Italian kitchen. So yeah, we run too well, and yeah, we need to split our backend into a smaller service in order to gain the scalability. Right now, yeah, I have a small scaffolding for our application already. So basically, it has the web API 7 Peaks Restaurant, which has only one API controller, which is create new order, and I make a small UI. In order to receive the customer order. Yeah, it's just a simple React application which contains only 2 components, I think. Yeah. Yeah, sorry if the UX is not so friendly. My apology. Normally, our design team can do better than this. So right now, our restaurant have only 2 menus available and has an order button. And we assume that the number of order will be only 1 per one menu. So back to our backend, we have the controller who waiting for the new requests, and we have the Italian kitchen service that waiting for any of routing key that is about the Italian. So as you see, let's start from the producer first. Basically, if you want to get it run, you have to install the RabbitMQ client. This one is there are 2 libraries available. The first one is RabbitMQ client, and another is RabbitMQ client dependency injection, which I just discovered a few days ago, and I think it's just more easier to use. Basically, the original one is more naked, but you will get more flexibility to configure it. But sometimes it's tricky as well, because you have to handle like the network stuff that may be not interesting as a developer point of view. So I decided to try the new thing with you all to use the dependency injection library. So I installed this one, and yeah. That's good. Yeah, the configuration part is quite simple. Basically, there are convention for RabbitMQ already. You can specify the host name, port, username, password, which this is a demo, so we shouldn't store the password inside the configuration file. We can do in another way instead. And also the exchange and queue. This is the pattern for app setting. And we have another option as well by creating It's so hot.
You're on fire.
No. By creating the RabbitMQ object, as you will see in the overload method of this function. Yeah, the first function will receive the I configuration which we can retrieve from the app setting file. And another option is using the RabbitMQ client option. So yeah, we can do like we specify anything setting file. These two approaches has the different pros and cons in my opinion. Like for app setting, we can share it in multiple platforms if we have the Python service or service that is developed in another language. It just works because it's just a JSON file. But yeah, it shouldn't be in the app setting because I see this part is the business logic, and I don't think that we should store business logic in the configuration file. So maybe we have to split this file into another JSON instead. And yeah, if we put this in the option into the source code, I think it's going to be a good idea as well if we make sure that all of our services are developed by C#, because it's a C#. Yeah. So this is a producer side. Once we drop the configuration into producing client singleton, then we call another function in order to instantiate the exchange. Then on consumer side, this is the console application, and actually there is nothing much for configuring. You can see it is almost the same, except the upper part. This is not our RabbitMQ thing. Yeah, you just have the configuration file. You take the data from configuration and drop it into the same function that I did before. So this just works, but we have to configure a little bit about the message handler, and we can specify the routing key here. Routing key here will be used to let consumer knows which kind of message that it will deliver to it, something like this. So yeah, I will create the new project to handle Thai kitchen. Simply long. It's too long. Okay, let's go really quick. Okay, yeah, we have tight in time, so I will do it faster. Okay, yeah, you can just copy this file into our new app, and then for the program, we can just use exactly the same code base that we do. I need to install.
Yeah.
Mm.
There you go. Just copy everything.
Yeah.
Reference.
Yeah. Then we create one new class for message handler. For the message handler, you have to inherit this interface. Yeah, and that's it. Actually, you can do whatever you want here according to your business requirement. Maybe just put the log. Just do. I will just do the same thing. We are tight in time now. Okay.
Okay, we have message handler here.
We need to change the routing key a little bit into Thai and make sure that this will, on the consumer side, it will send orders.thai and title.
On the producer side.
On the producer side, yeah. And let's start. Oops, wait. I need to run my new project as well.
Start.
Yeah, so let's try. This is for Italian kitchen, and this is likely for Thai kitchen. So the message come to Italian kitchen properly, but for Thai kitchen it doesn't work yet. We have to check. But actually we have the RabbitMQ running, so we can see the message come, but no one pick up. Maybe I misconfiguring something inside the consumer side, which is
Name.
yeah, I need to put the name here. Yeah. Yeah, and you see when Thai Kitchen start to work properly, it picked up the message that stuck in the queue before. So I think right now it's working. And you can see is when messages are picked up, it will automatically refresh in the management screen. So yeah, that's it for demo.
Try it again.
Yeah, I can try again.
One more time.
Yeah.
Send the order, and 2 restaurants get the order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, works. Okay, right. So this is all the technique that you may interested in. If you interested to use the messaging, you may can spend some time to learn it a little bit more. It's an advanced technique that you can try. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. And if you have any questions, just drop into our webinar, and yeah, we will try to cover it as much as I can. And if I cannot answer it, I will Google it for you. Thank you.
Questions was okay. This type of coding is applicable for all type platform like Visual Studio. Well, I think Visual Studio is just the text editor, and it doesn't. No, it works for even link pad. You see in the example I give you the link pad. It's also work. It's depend on the compiler.
Yeah, as long as
text editor.
compiler is .NET, then it's fine. You can use any IDE that you like.
Yeah, but the current preview version of the C# features is work only for two. As far as I know, it's only for two version. The one is linkpad, the other one is the Visual Studio Preview. The normal Visual Studio also work for some feature. You have to see in the state column in the language status. I put the link already. And what next? Can we define the records as immutable? Can we define the record as immutable?
I think by record definition, it is immutable already. So it is made for immutability.
Yeah, the record keyword is for immutability.
Yeah.
So I think this is what you're asking for.
So answer is yes, you can.
The RabbitMQ. Without cloud, how can I manage the auto scale of the RabbitMQ? So you can do on-premise version, right?
Yeah, it's the same approach that you.
We need to get closer to the microphone.
Test 1 2 3.
Here.
Okay. So the question was, without cloud, how can I manage the auto scale of the RabbitMQ? Auto scale of the RabbitMQ without cloud.
Without cloud, we cannot auto scale. We have to go to the shopping mall and buy a new PC to do the scaling.
No, seriously.
Yeah. I'm seriously.
So the answer is no.
Answer is no.
You cannot auto scale. You have to like config on the on-premise server to if you want.
Yeah, because scaling means you want to add more, I don't know, CPU or RAM. But if you want to do it in autonomous way, for on-premise, I think I don't know how to do it. I think it's not possible. Yeah.
Okay. And the next question is, I read RMQ support cluster. So if I have two nodes running on two different servers, how to connect to both of them? RMQ support cluster, and I have two nodes running on two different servers.
Yeah, it support. So for node, it runs inside the cluster, and you can compose multiple clusters together. So yeah.
How to connect both?
How to connect? Yeah, actually, in configuration, I am not sure that, but I'm sure that there is documentation which is pretty well documented by RabbitMQ official, so you can have a look on it. It's not that hard, but I never done it before. Yeah.
So the answer is yes, you can do, but
you can
do more research.
Yeah, you have to do more researching.
Also, the next one. Hello, Mr. Tong. This RabbitMQ is safe for unhackable backend.
Unhackable backend.
So he wants nobody to hack his system. This is safe. That you can say it's 100% no one can hack your system if you use RabbitMQ. Yeah,
usually it connects with the TLS, which is standard encryption standard. So it's the same security that we have for another.
HTTPS.
Yeah, it's a similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
And-
say it's no 100% safe, but it's just
Yeah.
it's not easy to hack, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's risky at all, especially if RabbitMQ we can run it in on-premise, so you can manage in the network layer to not expose it or yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's run on standard HTTPS.
Yeah.
So it's like safe enough to use it.
Yeah.
And the next one, also how easy it is to migrate from Azure or Amazon platform to IMQ. So this is kind of
yeah. I never tried it before, but I think it can be difficult because I never seen that.
no. I think the question is, she already has the messaging platform already running on Azure or Amazon, but I don't know what the message broker they are using, and just want to switch to use RabbitMQ.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard, especially if you already have some messages in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to migrate those message or processes you need to empty the queue before you migrate to another platform.
But this means if you already use the RabbitMQ, you can host on Azure
anywhere you
or
like. Yeah,
AWS, right?
Yeah.
So if you already start using the messaging, the host doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Anything.
Yeah, right.
Okay, hope this answered the question.
Yeah.
So to introduce myself, this is Kalyan. First question is about RabbitMQ cluster and how to connect to cluster. I think it's the same question that we have, right? That's you already answer. The RabbitMQ cluster and how to connect to cluster and set on premise. If I run the two RabbitMQ nodes on two servers and how to connect to both of them. Do you understand the question? RabbitMQ cluster and how to connect if they are on two different servers. So like you implement the RabbitMQ on two different servers. You can you connect the one server to send the message to the other one? On-premise version.
On-premise version. I'm not sure. Can we? I think I think it should be available. It should be possible, but yeah, this one I cannot tell you how, but I think it should be possible.
So it's just like you config the exchange to send to the queue from the other server?
Yeah, I think it should be something like that. Yeah.
Okay, have to try it. So we don't have the exact answer here for. Yeah, we will try it soon. Sorry for this question. And the second question is, how reliable is RabbitMQ? If RabbitMQ crash, whether data will be lost or not?
For the data, you can configure in many ways. Like there is a lazy queue, which by default it will store the message inside your hard drive. So it's quite safe because what anything happens is still be in your hard drive.
Let's give an example. If like my RabbitMQ server is down, and I already published data inside the queue.
Yeah, and it will dump the message into the hard drive automatically.
And how we can get that data back?
It will be pulled into memory when it wants to use.
So if we restore the server, that is we're gonna get the data back. Just like you just do it right
automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the data is there and the server is down, and once we restore it should be working. Like get the data that's stored in the computer, right? And the next one. Look like we have a lot of questions about the RabbitMQ. You are so hot now.
Yeah, I'm hot. I feel hot.
It has AMQP version similar to HTTPS for safe way similar to HTTPS. I don't understand this question. Can you read the question?
I think this is the answer. Yeah, there is a AMQPS. I think it is AMQP with the TLS. I think
It's another protocol.
I think it's the same protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay. We apologize. We are skipping this. I think this is the answer of the other question that we have, right?
Yeah, looks like.
Thank you, Mr. Tong. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, Vincent, thank you. All right, this look like all we have a question here. Thank you for all you guys for listening. It's this is the first time any mistaken. We apologize for that, and hope this will be useful a little for you. And anything else? Yeah, that's it. Thank you for today, and hope to see you next time for our meetup. Next time will be the meetup, not just webinar, right? Just come to our office and see how beautiful in here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.